We live. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Easter Deal. This is Hip Hop Raised Me the Blog, where we celebrate 47 years of the youngest genre of music, which is hip hop. It's about the knowledge, the culture, and the lifestyle. Hip Hop Raised Me. This is open discussions with C.E.O. Dream. New York bands solitary confinement in city jails. This is after 2 months since Andrew Governor Andrew Cuomo signed a bill that solitary confinement, you know, bit unnecessary and didn't quite help the individuals, Khalid Browder and all them guys, the transgender woman or man, you know what I mean, the transgender individual that, died in solitary confinement, there's a lot of protests about that. Um, the documentary, with Khalid Browder, I'm saying, the young man from Bronx that was, you know, uh, who eventually killed himself just from spending so many years in, you know, on Rikers Island as a youth and having to go through torture, being, fighting and things of that sort. So, solitary confinement, there's a flips, there's always two sides of this coin right here, the solitary confinement. So, you know, I'm, I know what it's like. I've been there, solitary confinement, I mean, depends on what side of the fence you on. Would this be a good thing? I understand many people protesting about it, but you know, flip side to these things, might give open reign, you know, for the active, those who fully active is going to get even more fully active. But the flip side of that is, you know, to catch a new charge is 5 more years. So, you know, eventually people going to smarten up, but you're going to get a lot of knuckleheads that's going to put themselves in some type of situations. So drop some in the comments, man, if you ever, experience being in solitary confinement. And I'm gonna share with you what I've been through with solitary confinement. When I was in prison, going through my tour, you know, um, and I got to a major incident in Clinton and Dannemora, in Clinton, Maine, and I wound up going to solitary confinement for a year and some change and all that, and it changed my life because you sit in solitary confinement and you start to, your mind start drifting. No matter what, you gotta be strong, gotta work out, man, eat right, man, and try not to poison your mindset with the negativity that arrives in being in solitary confinement, just by other convicts or whatever, So I use the word convicts because we never inmates, we just convicts, we was convicted of a crime. So we, a real individual that's been in prison, they gonna say convict, never inmate. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is though, bro. I did a long time in the box myself, and brothers be losing their mind in the box. Solitary confinement. Brothers really be losing their minds. I've seen individuals shave their eyebrows, shave all the hair off their face. What else? You know, fights. I've seen individuals get killed. I've seen a lot of things, you know, during my time in solitary confinement. You know, it's the being in the Bing and We used to glorify this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, we used to glorify it, and there was nothing to be glorified. Being, you know, it's in a society thing, a society within a society. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's weird though, but one thing though, it all you box monsters out there, for all you box monsters, this is not good for you because you can't be a box monster now. Because now you're gonna have to, come to population and do what you really have to do. Ain't no more hiding now. So that's the weird thing about solitary confinement as a convict's from a convict's view. But on the flip side, for those who's heavily affected, who not to call them brothers weak, but a lot of them weren't mentally strong to deal with what it's like being in prison, and you know, sorry, that they went through whatever they went through, and know, they had to succumb to things that wasn't necessarily right. So our prayers go out to them. But you know, just with me being in the box, solitary confinement, you know, how I overcame it was I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books. I did a lot of writing. I got a lot of time to think to myself and get to know myself and get to know, just what ticks me, what makes me angry, what triggers me, what my likes, my dislikes. I learned how to be more responsible, have more respect for another man or another woman. You know what I'm saying? Just by getting to know myself in solitary confinement. But sometimes a lot of people aren't mentally, strong to deal with issues that may arise. You know, just going on that tour. You know, like I said, what about the people? I wish the people would speak on it. What do you think? You know, um, you know, what are your thoughts on the situation? New York banning solitary confinement. If any of you watching my page, many, I have a lot of friends that we all grew up on the wrong side of the law, so I'm pretty sure there's someone watching that can identify with being in solitary confinement and with you know, the good side of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a lot of people didn't think this went through, but all the disciplinary convicts, they're gonna be still left there. So you got to think about this, man. Solitary confinement, man. It, it breaks us down mentally. Just the tactics they use when you're in solitary confinement. Imagine them, you know, um, you in a room that's lit. It's almost yellow, white. Depends on what prison system you in. It's yellow, it's white, and they have the lights on all day, so you can't sleep. It burns your eyes. They make sure you can't sleep. They leave you restless. They keep it bright, and they keep it bright in there. And it's, or sometimes you could be in a single cell or you could be in a double man cell. And many brothers try to push for the single cell, so they commit acts of violence in order to do so. You know, cuttings, shootings, stabbings. In the New York prison system, shootings are stabbings. So we say, for you say brother got shot, that's what they mean. So um, but those who are able to get get a single man cell in solitary confinement, you know, um, they have them a double bunk cell where you actually sharing a cell with another man, and they got the newer boxes now, like the 200 block dot boxes. It's like 200 inmates locked up in a box, and they have a shower inside the same cell that you in. Rec room is actually a room behind the cell. It's a little gate area where you have a little more access outside, but you're not outside. It's just you're around a bunch of bars, but it's you know it get real cold if you're in one of them areas where it gets cold at. So um, I was once locked up in upstate correctional facility, which was one of the newer boxes, and I was one of the you know me and the homies were the first ones to come through there. We opened up that jail. I had just left Clinton after my infraction with assault on staff of police. So uh what can I tell you, man? Like, only the strong survives, and only the strong survives. Only nothing else I could say, because solitary confinement, and it's not there for the weak. Can't be weak. It takes a lot of mental strength and physical strength. You have to keep yourself intact because even in when you're in solitary confinement, the meals aren't as excessive. You know, you don't get to feed yourself like that. It's not like you got snacks or anything, so you got to eat whatever they provide for you. And I went from the worst from the worst. I was once on the loaf, where they give you a loaf of bread with every vegetable or whatever left over. It seemed like whatever's left over from the jail throughout the whole week, that's what the loaf is. And all the desperation and shit like that. So um I was once a box monster. I was a level 1 bandit, just not grasping being in prison at a young age and doing what everyone else was doing, just trying to kill time and pass time. So like I said, solitary confinement was never for the weak or the weak minded. You know, you definitely had to hold your own. You know, and you definitely had to hold your own. And that's what it was. Once you was in the prison system. You know, and and definitely, what I'm saying, you need to keep a level head when you're in solitary confinement because you will go crazy. Especially if you don't have any outside forces or outside, communication. If people who aren't, looking out for you, things of that sort. Like I said, it's not for the weak. You know, so I urge families, if you have, members of your family in prison, reach out to them because you're doing exactly what quote unquote they want you to do. By now, you seem like you're turning your back on them, so it's easier for them to get lost in the prison system. So um, I strongly urge that you reach out to your family and all of that. That's in the prison system, especially those that are in solitary confinement. You have many brothers, who are admitted in solitary confinement. You have, many brothers that's away from population. They doing it just for city jails. They need to do it for the, all around. Because sometimes there be brothers locked away. You know, um, for years and years and years and years and years. In solitary confinement. Never to be heard from again. And these brothers lost their mind. I'm pretty sure you see a lot of the homies, on these podcasts, You know, basically, you know, showing you, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? The effects of being in solitary confinement. Let's leave it like that. Many of the homies, many of these brothers you see on podcasts today, they show you the effects of being in solitary confinement. A lot of them beefs that you see is just regular jail shit. Being in a box, trying to pass time, but these brothers have been so conditioned to to move in such this manner. You know, it it's hard to differentiate when they're understanding that they're free. You know, some of them may be taking their freedom for granted. You know what I'm saying? But definitely want to big up Cuomo, Mayor De Blasio, and many other people who saw fit to ban solitary confinement. And just wanted to give y'all a little, something to think about, a little open discussion. You know what I'm saying? Um, Maybe you'll see this afterwards, and I hope you do. And if you do, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe to Hip Hop Raised Me the Blog. My name is CEO Dream, and I'm out.